Hey, how are you?
Hi, great, great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. My name's Josh. I'm from London, England. And what's your name and where are you?
My name is Ria and I'm from India.
Excellent. Ria, did you say?
Yeah, yeah.
Like short for Maria?
Yeah, what? I'm sorry.
Is it like a nickname? Is it short
No,
for
it's a
something
complete name.
longer?
It's complete name, Ria.
It's a great name. In England, girls with the name Maria, they call themselves Ria.
Okay, no, but it's an original Indian name, Ria.
Great. Okay. Well, let's talk about the topics that interest you, and then we can maybe find something that we can talk about. So, is there like something you like to read about in the news, maybe, or watch on YouTube, or maybe a pastime or hobby that you enjoy?
Actually, currently, there's COVID-19 going on, so I read a lot about that. So, even if I do not want to, every next article that is on the recommended page is about that thing. So, what, like, how is it going on over there?
Well, I'm actually living in Thailand, so I'm not very familiar what's happening in England. I really only read the news for Thailand, and here it's going pretty well. There's like beaches are closed, but restaurants are open again, and bars are still closed, but the shopping mall's open. So like some things are still closed, but things are slowly opening, and there's no new cases of COVID, which is
Okay.
great.
So,
Um,
there was not a bad condition in Thailand at all. Like, I did not read a lot about Thailand. That is why I'm asking.
Apparently, there's only been 240-ish cases, um, which seems like quite unusual to me. I'm a bit skeptical of that number.
Yeah, like that is very less of a number in
It's a
comparison to
very
every other country.
Yeah, it's a very, very low number, and there's a big Chinese population here, and
Okay.
there's many foreigners that come here. It's a very popular
Yeah, it's
country for
touristic as
tourists.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, so touristy. So it really surprises me. I think maybe the government are hiding some numbers, but who knows? What about where you are now?
I'm in India. Like, I'm in currently in India only. So here the numbers are rising. I mean, they are on a rise. Every day there are new cases coming. We do not have lockdown, but people are not voluntarily going out because they are taking precautions. Because we all know that even if we go out, we are not that safe. And the government is taking their kind of precaution because they know that the economy is suffering heavily.
Mm.
So they have opened the economy, but people are not voluntarily going out. So it's kind of a lockdown for us. And yeah, but the one thing that is great is that the recovery rate in India is much higher than any other country.
Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic. Have you
so
got a good
even
healthcare system?
um, I don't know, like maybe they're working on it. Like we did not have the best healthcare system earlier, but maybe they're working on it now. Like Italy was supposed to have the best healthcare system, one of the best healthcare systems, but it suffered heavily. So maybe they're working on and they learned from their mistakes and they're working on some things that we do not know. But yeah, the recovery rate is quite good in India. Out of 2 lakh
Mm.
cases, I guess 1 lakh people recovered already.
Right. It sounds like things are going very positively for you in India, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, we're expecting things to, spike again a little bit because, as lockdown has opened, people are going to move here and there a little bit.
mm,
But we're expecting that this situation is going to be under control very soon. With the kind of
yeah,
measures that we're taking right now, I guess it's going to be under control very soon.
yeah, fantastic. That sounds very positive. Hopefully, the country can open up and people can start traveling to India again for tourism. I'm hearing a lot about countries opening up as of next month, which is extremely soon. Um, which is great because many businesses are suffering, especially in the tourist industry, whether it's hotels or tour operators. um, or like even street food vendors. Street food vendors rely heavily on tourists, and many
Yeah, I
people are
guess the
suffering.
unorganized sector is suffering more than any other sector, I guess, because they are the people that were not in an organized sector, and they were the not people, who were getting daily wages.
Mm.
So now that they're not getting their pay, I guess they are the ones who are suffering more than any other government jobs.
So, how are the government supporting the Indian people who've lost their jobs?
Actually, there's nothing that the government can do in this. Like, we did not foresee this before. So, of course, the government, not the people, and no one was prepared for this condition, of course. But, there are some states which are particularly taking good measures. For example, there's a state, Uttar Pradesh, which actually transferred some money into the farmers' account, I guess. Even for that matter, other states also transferred some amount in, people's banks, especially those people who were, below poverty line. Their accounts were taken care of, and as you know, that the large population in India is in farming, so that sector was also taken care of. We started trading again for those farmers, and these kind of measures were taken. But still, I guess, because no one was prepared with this condition, I guess there's a lot that we could have done. It's because we did not have a proper planning and everything, and I won't blame government particularly into this, because no one foresee this. I guess now that we have gone through this, I guess now there are going to be new legislations, new laws, or some kind of thinking will be done into this matter as well. That,
Yeah,
for example, in future, if we face these kind of situations, then everything should be taken care of.
yeah. I'm very curious how this will be approached for future matters. Like you say, changing the legislation. What new laws could they put in place, and how would they approach this same pandemic if it was to repeat? Um, I guess time will only tell. Right.
Yeah, time will only tell. And even I am researching on this. I am pursuing my graduation in law, and besides that, I'm a writer and author as well. So I am actually doing research into this. That how can actually there be new legislation for unorganized sector, because unorganized sector suffered heavily in this. Migrants suffered, unorganized suffered. Of course, other people also suffered, but education suffered for that matter. There were no implementations done for students also, because not
Huh.
a lot was thought about this. People did not think that this will go on for this long time. Of course, online education was started, online portals were started. Then what
Hmm.
about exams? And what about exams of different people? Because here in India, boards exams are also going on. Then what about their exams? What about no thinking was actually done, and this was not done because the situation was not foreseen. But now that people are become aware of this situation, I guess now all this will be taken into consideration as well. And as a person who does researching a lot and who's interested in reading and researching, I'm also researching into this matter. That how can I also be helpful in proposing some new legislation if I could in future as well.
Sure. So you said the government didn't help the people because they weren't able to foresee what was happening. Um,
They helped, but they were not able to help a lot. They helped, they did everything that they could possibly do. I guess this was the best that they could do. They took care of their accounts, like they deposited some money into their accounts, but I guess this was the maximum that they could do. Now there's a need for new legislation, a new organized thing that could actually take care of all this. The
mm.
government was taking care of the medicines, it was taking care of the ventilators, it was taking care of the hospitals, and then it has to take care of people as well. So I think a single body cannot do all these things. There should be a new body, there should be a new thing that should be doing all these things.
What about tax? Like, could that not be used to support the people as well as the healthcare system, or was the healthcare system in such a bad position to deal with this pandemic that they had no choice but to invest all the tax money available into healthcare.
I guess they invested a lot in healthcare. They invested heavily in healthcare because in the beginning I heard that the government is investing a lot to strengthen healthcare first because nothing comes before health. And during pandemic, they were actually thinking of investing in different areas. Before pandemic, they were thinking of investing in education. They were thinking of investing in other sectors as well. But now that pandemic came without informing, so they invested heavily in healthcare sector. So I guess the tax money was used there. I have not read a lot. I guess I should read about this as well. That tax money could have been used, but I guess they used a lot of it in healthcare sector. That is what I feel because that is something that I read.
Yeah, I think England approached it slightly differently. Obviously, we probably have a bit more money on hand than you do as a country. However, your population is bigger as well, right? What's the population of India?
Yeah.
It's something ridiculous. India population.
You want to see the exact
1.35 billion. I think England is about 66 million, so you have quite a few more people than us. Yeah. So with England, do you know what we did in England?
No, I do not know.
So we said to the people, like, stay at home, and that was kind of our approach to stopping people from going into the hospitals and using their resources and spending taxpayers' money, because we have a free healthcare system. If everyone burst through the door saying, I've got a runny nose or I've got some kind of symptom of COVID, we just wouldn't be able to cope. So instead, the government said, stay at home and don't go outside. Sorry?
We did the same thing as well. People were advised to stay home. That is what I'm saying, that people are not voluntarily going out. People are still staying at home. We were supposed to stay at home for, I guess, 3+ months, and we're still staying at home when the government has, already given orders that now you can actually move out if you want. But people are voluntarily not going out. So, social distancing, staying at home, all this was practiced in India as well. Otherwise, the recovery rate would not have been that high. There would have been a lot more cases, and the way you're saying that the population is quite a lot as compared to a different world. So I guess as compared to different countries, I guess the cases would have surpassed any other country if India would not have taken these measures.
But also in England, if you had symptoms, you can't go to the hospital. Is that the same case in India?
No, if you have symptoms, then you call the medical authority. They'll come, they'll test you, they'll tell you, and if they find you that you're corona positive, then they'll take you yourself.
That's very productive.
Like, they'll come, they'll do everything, and they'll take you. You do not need to go out, you do not need to come, you do not need to burst into hospitals and crowd the place.
I see. Okay, that sounds like a very productive way of doing it, a very positive way of doing it. In England, unless you're in a critical state, you're not allowed to go to the hospital. There isn't someone we can call or anything. You only go to the hospital if you're in critical state. So I think that's where we're saving some money. But also with anyone who became unemployed through COVID, they would be given 80% of their salary from the government, from tax money. So like that is maybe a positive in terms of the economies of individuals.
That is one thing. That is a positive thing, that if you're given something out of tax money. But I guess we use the tax money in healthcare system. You are using it different ways, just coming around differently. Like, because you have a free healthcare situation, even we have free healthcare facilities, but that's not prevailing throughout the country.
Of course.
It's it's just in the state hospitals. So everyone is taking good measures. I guess every country is trying their best to get out of this pandemic.
Yeah.
I guess we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to me. It was nice.
Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you, Riya, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope everything gets better soon for you.
Thank you so much. I wish the same for you as well.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.